What do we got here?
This is from Jessica Myers, and she runs a little something baked goods, homemade custom gourmet cookies. And she basically made the entire show. I got the Danettes, I got some of our t shirts here, stat of the day, the football diagrams that we have in the man cave, the new DP show logo. I got a Suck It Back Rogue cookie, McLovin's broken glasses, Seaton from when he ran the marathon, Paulie with a whole lot of hair and teeth. I got DP show baseball hats here. I have a coffee mug on my desk that says I'm kind of a big deal. She made those. When I do my called strike three, when I'm acting like an umpire, hee-ha! She did that as well. That is a wonderful gift. But do we eat them? The NBA is coming back. NHL is back. MLS is back. NFL still on target to open his schedule. There's one exception that's becoming even more glaring every single day. Where is baseball? It's gone from, maybe they're just negotiating, they'll work all of this out, to players and owners really don't like each other. Maybe they salvaged something here. It's hard to believe that they would forego an entire summer. But at least publicly, nothing positive is coming out. Both sides seem entrenched in their point of views. And they canceled the season back in 1994. No World Series, and the sport suffered. And if not for Cal Ripken's streak and Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire's home run record chase, I don't know where we would be right now. I'm not sure that they ever really recovered from 1994. Not coming back now would risk falling even farther down the sports food chain. Hopefully it's all posturing and baseball will come back soon. But as of today, hard to feel confident baseball knows what it's doing or where it's going. There are proposals that went from the players won over 100 games. The owners would like to have 50 games. And then we thought, well, of course, they'll meet in the middle. Now you're talking about a 48-game schedule, the owners. Owners talking about how much they lose every single game without having fans in the stands. Still have revenue from local TV deals. But if you're a player, especially a pitcher, and I said there's going to be a 48-game regular season, are you going to risk that? 25% of a season for 25% of your salary. And if I'm a pitcher, a starting pitcher, I would really have to question that. Now, you do have the safety precautions you have to factor in, but let's just look at the monetary aspect of this. If I'm a pitcher, do I want to risk going out there, rushing to get in shape? Now the 50-game schedule, 48-game schedule. How are you going to use me? If I'm an ace, are you going to use me even more? Because with 50 games, we might have a chance to make the playoffs. We might have a chance to win our division. You might be using somebody a little bit more than you normally would. What are the pitching rotations going to look like? If I'm a hitter, I'm okay with this. But a pitcher, I really have to question this just from that aspect. Now, we can talk about COVID-19 and safety precautions. I do believe that baseball will be able to do that. Being an outdoor sport, you're not in contact with each other. I do believe baseball will be able to provide some kind of safety precautions there. But if I'm a pitcher, I would really question, do I want to come back for this? Give me something optimistic about this baseball season.
Okay, the optimism is that they're going to play, all right? All the negotiations and all the bantering back and forth is part of the deal that they have to work out a million things. So once they get close to working out 10 things, you're going to have, in general, I think, an agreement, and then they'll play the season. Out of this season, I think you're going to see some things that will adjust for the future that will be a benefit. This is unprecedented times. These are tough decisions. There's no easy answer. Players are going to have to make adjustments. Owners are going to have to make adjustments. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to play the game, and they're going to have a unique opportunity to create some different playoffs atmospheres, and even excitement. And I think it's going to trail into the next couple of years. You're going to see some things that come out of it, in my opinion, that will benefit teams that basically start out the year and say, okay, you know what? We don't have a chance to win, so we're going to build for the future. But with extra playoff spots, I think that eliminates half the teams from doing that. I think it creates a better opportunity to see more cities have a chance to compete in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to go from 10 to 14 teams for the playoffs if they have it this year, and I guess they're on the books for next year. What is in jeopardy right now if we don't have a season this year? Or is that you don't want to talk about that hypothetical?
No. I mean, that's a real question, and a question that everyone is having to deal with right now because it's not a normal circumstance. We're not just talking about labor disputes. That's one thing to have. And then it's hard for people to get over because they don't understand it's not just about economics, but it always boils down to about economics, right? So no one wants to hear, especially in these times, about economics. But if the game's not played, that's a real issue that will not go well for both sides. That'll be a fan base that will really struggle to try to figure out why they couldn't work it out. And that's the PR battle that both sides always have to factor in. And I'm sure are. And that's why I think when you hear some of the things that come out, that somewhat can be posturing that. But I just really believe that at the end of the day, they're going to get to a number that's agreeable by everybody, a game number, and they're going to play baseball. And the country sorely needs it. They know it. 19. I was part of the strike. That was brutal. From the end point of, we lost some fans permanently. We lost some fans for a while. And when you don't play the World Series, man, that's how much those times and how difficult those decisions were based on the circumstances and the negotiations that a lot of people didn't understand. And there was no way, if everyone could go back in that time, you could not and should not have tried to explain it because it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you felt 100% or you were righteous in your belief. It didn't matter. The outcome was not going to sit well for players, and that certainly is the way it went back then. I got a camping story to tell you.
Okay. Right.
So it's not, woodsman camper type scenario. We had a 27-foot condor as a kid, motorhome, and we would go camping in the Upper Peninsula, and we'd go, all over the place in it. And then we just detected that there was a short in the electrical system, and we all knew it, but we were out on our trip. And the rule was you had to have shoes on because the metal stairs and the metal handle, if you touched it without shoes, you were going to get, shocked. So we all knew it. I'm on the inside of the motorhome. Campfire's right outside. I decide I'm going to jump from inside with no shoes out, miss the step, but I grab the handle. And I'm getting fried, like stuck to the handle. And my mom was behind me and kicked me off the handle out on the ground. And to this day, my mom thinks that's why my arm was the way it was.
Wait,
no proof of it.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, yeah. In a good way. She thinks, that I developed a super arm or something when I was 12 years old. But yeah, we no longer had the motorhome after that. We had to get rid of it. But it was my fault for jumping out there without any shoes. And but in the long run, maybe maybe it did help my arm.
Well, that's kind of like the natural with Wonder Boy, the bat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do not advocate that for any young 12-year-old who's trying to throw 90.
Put the audience on the mound as you're facing Bonds, peak Bonds. What are you thinking?
Pete Bonds, the strike zone looked like a coffee cup. His discipline was so unique, and somebody told me later. I mean, his eyes, when they did the test of his eyes, that he could track a baseball longer than most, which spoke to his discipline. But when you're on the mound, you've got one chance to get him. He's not going to miss a mistake, and he's not going to swing at two bad pitches. When he was at his peak. And I challenged him a lot. That's why I gave up a lot of home runs. Fortunately, I never gave up the ones in the postseason that hurt me. But I challenged him. We talked a lot. He had respect for me, challenged him, but he knew that he was better than anybody who was on the mound. And, from the standpoint of trying to squeeze a ball on the inside, I think I've told you the story, but I decided in the playoffs when I was closing that I was going to mess with his mind. I asked Greg Maddux what he thought about this game plan. He says, "Yeah, I think it'll work." And the mindset was I was going to throw a pitch inside and then throw a pitch really inside. I said, I got to move his feet. I never move his feet. I never make him uncomfortable. And then I'm going to throw one up and in. I'm not trying to hit him, but I got to establish the inside part of the plate. So I execute the first two pitches. He kind of looks at me because it's totally different than the way I'd face him. I threw one almost under the armpit, inside probably a foot in off the plate. He hit it for a homer, 420 feet. The ball didn't hook. We won the game, and I came in, and Greg Maddux goes, "How'd that work for you?" I said, "Not very well. Thanks for the insight." And I never tried to do that again. It is single most greatest home run I've ever seen a person hit, because you got to see the replay. It doesn't seem possible that a guy could pull his hands in and not hook the ball foul and then basically run around the fence or run around the bases like, you know what? I'm way better than you. And he was.
Zach in Virginia joining us. Good morning, Zach. How are you?
Good.
Hey.
Are the Chargers going to be good this year?
Are who? The Chargers? Oh, I hope so. What's your name?
Zachary.
Oh, hey, Zach. Do you have a favorite Charger player?
Philip Rivers.
Oh, I think your dad has to explain something to you, Zach.
I tried, Dan, but he's very upset that Philip went to Indy. I tried my best.
Oh, I don't want Zach to cry on national radio here, Dad.
I'm not.
Okay.
His dad might be the one that cries. The Chargers can never close when they need to close.
Hey, Zach, tell your dad to buy you a Justin Herbert jersey, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, guys. Poor little guy, 5 years old. How long does Dad pull this caper
He's
off?
in Indianapolis? Indianapolis? Where's that? Oh.
Who's your favorite Charger? Philip Rivers? Ooh,
Oh, buddy.
Ooh. Give me one or two teams that you think, and with no home court advantage, that this team might play the role of spoiler either in the East or the West.
Well, to me, it's Philadelphia in the East. And, you know, the Sixers had plenty of problems this year, even before, you know, Ben Simmons went down with that injury. But Ben Simmons is coming back. And, you know, we always thought when it came to the Sixers that a defensive-minded team that doesn't rely on the three-point shot might have a shot in the postseason. Not an up-tempo, necessarily high-volume three-point shooting team. Like, these playoffs almost are built for a team like Philadelphia. Like, when you have teams coming back, you're just not going to be able to get your skills sharp enough to be the kind of perimeter shooting team that you were prior to this. A lot of these players have not been even doing much in the way of one-on-one work. Some of them haven't even been shooting for the better part of the last couple of months. So you're going to see a lot of college basketball-like shooting numbers, I think, in the regular season and in the postseason. If you're Philadelphia, you don't shoot threes. You don't care. You are a defensive team. You want to play 90s style basketball where games are in the 80s and 90s. So I look at the Sixers. Their chemistry is always an issue, but from a talent perspective, this might be perfect for them. Like, they could wind up being a team that not only wins the first round series, but they could make a run all the way to the finals. Like, I think that this is just one of those weird scenarios that sets up really well for Philadelphia.
Why start December 1st with games? Why not wait till Christmas?
Well, starting December 1st is all about finishing, like, end of June. You know, it's all about trying to recalibrate the schedule in one season. Like, as of now, they don't want to play into next summer. So if you start December 1st, you might have to sandwich some games closer, do some things you don't necessarily want to do with spacing, but you can get back on a regular calendar. I think Look, I think it's a mistake, and I think it's one that, as you saw, Michelle Roberts has already commented on this. Like, you're going to have a union problem with negotiating that type of quick turnaround. But I think the NBA's got an opportunity here, Dan, to start the season on Christmas when most people start caring about basketball anyway. So you use that as your launching point, and then play into the summer on a regular schedule. Try to get some valuable data to see if summer basketball actually works, if the ratings go up, if getting away from the NFL actually makes some sense. If it doesn't and your ratings plummet for 1 year, okay, end of August, which is when a December start would probably put you, you can find a way to get back on track in the 2021-2022 season. But right now, I think this is a golden opportunity for the league to do what a lot of people internally already want to do, and something they can chalk up to the pandemic. And that doesn't even include the fact that it's good business to push even further down the line to get fans potentially back in the stands for next season.
Are you kidding me? If I came in and said, hey, that's it, how do you think Fritzy would,
would not go well.
What would Fritzy do? If I came in on Monday and said, that's it, guys. I'm moving to Italy, my wife and I'm checking out. What would you do the next day? Yeah, Seton.
I think you have it wrong.
Oh.
I don't agree.
Okay.
Because Todd is this eternal optimist. So he would be like, I think it's an exciting opportunity to explore new things. It's great. It's been a great run. It's been great. I think
But when he got home,
Andrew is the guy that's going to be like, what are you talking about?
The 30 seconds where you were missing at the beginning of this segment, I almost had a full-on panic attack.
Yeah, get used to that.
I can't breathe. Where's it? I can't breathe. Where's it? Where's it?
I think Todd would panic. When he got home,
my initial reaction would certainly be something that would be very high blood pressure related.
Yes. Yeah, Paulie.
I'd be fine. I would probably just go with you to Italy and just hang in the next room. And if you ever needed some stories to go with the family, you run out of content, I'd write some material.
Paulie would have a rundown for me every day.
You got to have lunch and maybe work in a nap and then go to the pool. I would help to keep things smooth.
What kind of guest do you want me to book to come over here?
Prosciutto? You want prosciutto, not prosciutto?
Yeah. Mozzarella.
I'm fine with that.
So I'm at a sporting event the other night, and at least 3 different people come over to me asking if I'm sitting in their seats.
Oh, come on now. What the What the is wrong with you people?
So I don't know if it's if you guys ever deal with this, if you go to a concert or sporting event, how difficult is to find seats at a concert or a sporting event? Think about it. It's got all the information you need right there on the ticket. Section, row, seat number. Section, row, seat number. It's really, really not that complicated. I got these people coming over to me and saying, I think we're in the same seat. Not only are they not in my seats, they're all the way on the other side of the arena. They couldn't have been further from where I'm at. So I don't understand. Section, row, seat. Let's get it together.
What did you learn on today's program?
Other than all that, I've learned a lot. But I'm going to go with McLovin is now worried about his Sixers because Chris Mannix has his eye on them as a dark horse in the playoffs. He basically jinxed them.
You had an opportunity to compliment me.
I sent you a text and an email. You didn't get my text
I didn't
yet?
get the text.
My text said, you're doing a wonderful job. I'm proud of you.
McLovin?
Todd does not get it.
I sent you a text. I can't believe you didn't read it during the break.
I didn't get the text.
That's the problem. There's a problem I have every day with you guys.
Also, I learned the animation about Todd was maybe the funniest one yet. That was
very
awesome.
well done.
Section row seat. Seton?
According to John Smoltz and his mother, we should run a bolt of electricity through our 12-year-old's arm to see
if they could be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, wait, no, they said don't do that.
Don't do that. Paulie?
John Smoltz, Wonder Boy.
What we learned brought to you by LegalZoom. They make it easy to set up the right estate plan without leaving your home. Take care of your family today. The right estate plan at LegalZoom.com.
Awesome job today, Dan.
Thanks, Todd.
Fantastic.
Have a great weekend, safe weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday here on The Dan Patrick Show.